When fans first met Christian on 90 Day Fiancé, he didn't seem like the kind of guy who would go down as one of the show's biggest villains. He was outgoing, confident, and seemed to have that easygoing charm that draws people in. He laughed a lot, told stories, and acted like the life of the party. But as the season went on, that same charm started to feel off. What once looked like confidence started to look more like control. What once seemed playful started to feel manipulative. Christian had a way of talking himself into, and out of, anything. Every time he messed up, he had an excuse ready. He'd joke about it, talk circles around the problem, and somehow make himself the victim. It didn't take long for fans to realize they weren't watching a love story unfold. They were watching a masterclass in emotional manipulation. At first, Christian and Cleo looked like they might work. Cleo was quiet, kind, and deeply sensitive. She was open about her insecurities and about wanting someone who would truly accept her for who she was. Christian, on the other hand, was bold, loud, and seemed comfortable anywhere. It felt like a classic case of opposites attracting. But it didn't take long for that balance to crumble. From the very beginning, Christian showed that he needed constant attention. He loved to talk, to tell stories, and to be the center of every room he entered. But that same energy that made him fun in social settings became toxic in a relationship built on vulnerability. When Cleo tried to share how she felt, Christian dismissed her. If she told him something made her uncomfortable, he'd laugh or turn it into a joke. And if she ever called him out, he'd twist the situation so that she ended up apologizing. Fans quickly began to see the pattern. Christian didn't want to be in love. He wanted to be admired. Every scene, every argument, every confession seemed like an opportunity for him to control the narrative. He would smile when he should have listened, defend himself when he should have apologized, and always make sure the spotlight stayed on him. One of the most uncomfortable moments came when Christian went to a party and openly flirted with another woman while Cleo was back home. It wasn't just a small slip, it was a deliberate act of disrespect. Cleo later confronted him, heartbroken and humiliated. But instead of showing remorse, Christian brushed it off, claiming it was just innocent fun. He insisted she was being too sensitive. This was the moment many fans said they lost all sympathy for him. Over time, Christian's pattern became impossible to ignore. He made promises he didn't keep. He offered affection only when it served his image. And every time Cleo questioned him, he turned the situation around until she doubted her own feelings. It wasn't just selfish, it was psychological manipulation. He could never be wrong, never be the bad guy, never face the truth of what he was doing. What made it worse was how easily he played the audience. Whenever things got heated, Christian knew how to perform. He'd crack a joke, shed a few fake tears, or give a speech about how hard love is. But behind the charm, viewers saw the truth. He wasn't struggling with love, he was struggling with losing control. Cleo, for her part, tried to hold things together. She wanted to believe in him, to see the good he occasionally showed. But every time she forgave him, he used it as permission to keep doing the same things. Her kindness became his shield. And that's what made watching their relationship so painful. It wasn't just about love gone wrong. It was about power, ego, and control. By the end of the season, the mask had completely slipped. The same fans who once thought Christian was just misunderstood now saw him for what he was. A textbook narcissist. He wasn't in love with Cleo. He was in love with himself. Every grand gesture, every emotional scene, every sweet moment was a performance meant to protect his image. And even after the camera stopped rolling, he couldn't help but chase that spotlight. Interviews, social media posts, public defenses, everything he said sounded like another attempt to rewrite the story. But fans weren't buying it anymore. They had seen too much. The saddest part of it all was Cleo. She walked into that relationship with hope, only to be left questioning her worth. But while Christian left the show with a reputation as one of the most self-absorbed men in 90 Day Fiancé history, Cleo walked away with something stronger: self-awareness. She learned, in front of millions, that love without respect isn't love at all. Christian's downfall wasn't dramatic. It was slow and obvious. It was in every smirk, every lie, every moment he turned sincerity into a joke. And that's why fans still talk about him today. He didn't just become disliked, he became a warning. In the end, Christian didn't just lose Cleo. He lost the respect of everyone who once believed his act. And for someone who built his whole identity on being admired, that's the ultimate punishment. He wanted fame, he wanted to be remembered, and he will be. just not for the reasons he hoped.